Hello and welcome to another episode, season finale of Mr. Z.
And fifth.
Yes, I'm your host with the most, Mr. Z and Fifth. Yeah, so we're gonna bring you another episode today. We have much to talk about today. What's up, Fifth? What's going on?
Yeah, what's going on? We got a lot to talk about. We're gonna let me just first by saying for those who are listening, we're gonna talk about the Super Bowl, but not in the way that you think, audience. Also, we're gonna talk about what's going on in Jamaica, Trinidad. We're gonna mention some things about Black History.
Yes.
So, Kaepernick. We're gonna talk about the current Kaepernick situation, and let's get into it. All right, so Zaccheus, let's get into our first topic. Let's get into our first topic. We'll get to the Super Bowl later, but let's get into our first thing you want to touch on.
Hey, yeah, man. So I was hearing a lot over the especially like maybe like late January over concerning Jamaica, man, and from what I heard and understand is that they forced to stay on the tourist site. Do not leave the tourist site. I've been hearing that, and I was reading about Jamaica, man. I was reading about the murder rate last year. That it was wow.
So it's more than usual, right? Is that what it is?
6,161 people died. Homicide in Jamaica. That's too much murder. And then I'm saying to myself, something's got to be done. Terrible.
Right.
And then yeah, and then I'm basically then I heard later on, I'm like, wait a minute, murder already, and it's murder in January. Now people are already getting killed already.
What's the population of Jamaica?
Jamaica's population of Jamaica right now. For a little island, there's a whole lot of murder. The population of Jamaica is crazy. Let me see. The population is. Let me see. I'm gonna get to the population right now.
Yeah.
But basically, this for 20. Let me see the population right now. I'm gonna take the figure right now. It's it's 2,898,677. That's the population right now as it stands in Jamaica in 2018. That's the population right now. It's still a huge population for a small
island,
small country, yeah.
Small country,
but the murder rate is ridiculous. You're talking about 1,616 murders. That's crazy, man. But now,
we'll talk about the resort. Talk about the resort thing more. And then to you, what does that say for that island? Is that let
me tell you something. With the resort, now that's gonna even stop the
because who's making the money off of that? I mean, let's just keep it real.
The people that, not Jamaica itself. I think it's the tour guides.
Thank you.
People came to invest in tourism. People that invest in the hotels like Sandals Hotel.
Mm-hmm.
Different hotels in Montego Bay. You have different hotels in the Grill. Different hotels in different areas in Jamaica that do tourism. Now, I don't know how much is going. The tourism, the money's supposed to be going to Jamaica because they really bank on the tourism, and really bank on a lot on the tourism. The music is one thing. Reggae music is bringing money to the island too, but actually in the artist pockets too. But it's bringing the tourism. Builds up Jamaica too, but now when they do that, now they take it away. When people it's so high, people kind of think twice about going to Jamaica. Some natives that left Jamaica a long time ago are thinking twice about going back and living in a yard. They're thinking twice about, well, should I go back? Because, well, I'm afraid for my life. I'll go back, I might get some harm might be done to me if I go back.
Yeah.
So maybe I shouldn't go back. And some people, some natives don't even want to. Some don't even want to retire in Jamaica because they're afraid of the murder rate is so high. Now, I don't know if you ever seen a movie called Shatters.
No, I've heard of it.
There's a gangster movie that came out in the early 2000s with Kamani Marley, dancehall artist Braga Benz, Wyclef was in it, DJ Khaled was in it, and Louis Rankins. Louis Rankins that played in the movie. You ever seen the movie called Belly with Nas and
yes.
And there's a Jamaican gangster that they call him. That's Louis Rankin, the guy that played
the one that said gangster. The one who was like, I'm the original Don Dada.
Rankin, he played in Shatters. He was a gangster in Shatters too.
Okay.
Now, there's a very well known Jamaican actor named Paul Campbell, and he was in the movie. He was in the movie Shatters as a Shatters in a movie called Gangsters. But he also played Rude Boy, the police officer in the Rude Boy movie in Jamaica, because it's a movie called Rude Boy.
Yeah,
and
I've heard of that.
Also a cop. Yeah, he also played a cop, and he played a cop. He played a ruthless. He played a very good cop. He's a very good cop. And right now, Jamaica is why I say that, because right now Jamaica's thinking about this guy called Renato Adams. Renato Adams. They wanted to make him a police commissioner. Renato Adams was a police officer that didn't take. He was the criminals feared him. He didn't. They really, he was no joke. He was a no joke kind of law enforcement officer in Jamaica. He's chief in Jamaica. Now, joke. They want to for the sake of the citizens, for the sake of Jamaica, they want to make him commissioner. Renato Adams. He reminds me of the guy called Paul, old joke type of law enforcement officer in Jamaica that don't take no joke. Now the person that's in right now, they're taking him as a joke, so that's why the murder rate is so high. They want to get Renato Adams to really seize the violence, so they feel that he can do a good job in seizing the violence in Jamaica. Now, and it's sad because place where you go and you want to relax, tourists don't want to worry about, well, if I travel into Kingston, would I get robbed, or whatever? I travel into Kingston, my life is in danger. They don't want to worry about that. That's the least thing you want to worry about. It's sad. It's really sad.
So what's the situation with now Trinidad?
Trinidad's murder rate. They already had Trinidad murder rate right now. Already had a few murders in Trinidad. A few murders in Trinidad. Wait, yeah, and which I'm kind of like shouldn't even be, because I know Trinidad. Right now, Trinidad was so bad last year that they put a curfew on the streets. Like everybody had to be in at 6 p.m. to be in.
Man, that's early.
Because the murder rate is ridiculous. No, that's Carnival country now. Carnival, they just had like a few weeks ago in Trinidad. With Carnival, they had that. That's the thing that they do every year. Carnival, they call it the Trinidadians. They call it Bacchanal time. Trinidad is Carnival time, where all the ladies dress up in the skimpy outfits and they put on the traditional costumes, the peacock kind of looking costumes, and parade around the streets and looking pretty. The murder toll ending last year in Trinidad was 449. And that was 2017.
Are you familiar with Cancun, Mexico? Because the same thing that's going on in Jamaica has been a problem with Cancun for a number of years. Tourism is not what it used to be in Cancun.
That's true. I didn't know about Cancun.
Well, the same thing with Cancun. the crime
Wow.
is at a hand in Cancun now. Well, for a while now, and they've said the same thing to them as far as don't leave the tourist spots. That it's more safer to be around the tourist spots, So with a resorts or and stuff like that, because they was talking about all the crime that was happening, even on some of the resort spots. In particular, there's a famous beach that MTV. Remember when MTV? They don't do it no more, but they used to. Remember, they used to do their spring break celebrations in Cancun. They used to put it on TV.
Yeah, that's true.
So what's going on is
Spring
that
Fling.
Right. Well, Spring Fling is BET, but they used to do their spring break stuff.
I remember that.
Very popular in the 90s. It's one of the reasons why I wanted to go.
But that segued into the 2000s.
Right. It did. It ended around that time. When it went into the 2000s, they deaded it. And then then you didn't really see it no more like that. And then BT had the Spring Fling, because that was around that time where BT had their own version of it. Well, that was mainly manufactured by MTV, but that's another story. So, but Spring Fling wasn't in Cancun. Spring Fling was other places. But okay, being specific to MTV's one. But in particular, there was a spot where MTV would always do their thing there. There was a crazy murders around that area. The very same place that MTV would go to. So that is going to discourage tourism. Now, in Mexico, tourism is very important to the economy. So
yes,
what has happened with Cancun is now the real estate, the property value has gone down tremendously. I mean, you can go to Cancun and get a house down there for almost nothing now. But then you got to deal with the crime. So, you have that situation. Now, they're trying to do something better about it. But what I'm hearing about Jamaica reminds me of the Cancun situation. So that's what made me bring that up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. In Trinidad, the homicide rate, this month, January 2018, the murder rate now was 59. It's 59 people. Homicide. Homicide. It's 59 homicide cases in Trinidad since last month.
I think they're all related. I think they're related in the sense that there's some conflict going on. I don't think it's just, your particular. I don't think it's free murder. I think what's going on is that you just have some things that are going on. Maybe it's a combination of some type of. I'm not going to call it civil war or anything, but I'll just say some type of gang war, mob war, something. Something's going on. The economy, if the economy is very bad and there's no jobs, that equals crime too. Anywhere in this world.
Of course. Oh, yes.
So,
yeah,
I'm pretty sure if we did some more digging, we would find out that the economy is probably in the toilet. It's possible. That
I think, Jamaica, I think that the $1 is worth, I think it was worth $65, and in Trinidad the dollar is worth $7 US.
Oh, okay. There's a big difference there between the two. Big difference there between the two islands with that when it comes to the currency. Yeah.
First, $1 is worth 208.
Dang. Wait. Say it again. Who?
Guyana.
Yeah, Guyana.
The money compared to the US dollar, the US dollar is worth $208 Guyanese dollars.
Jesus.
It's one of the poorest countries in South America right now.
Well, that's where your fam is from, and you was there last year?
Yeah, I was there in 2015.
2015, okay. Dang, I'm way off. I thought you was there again. Okay, time flies. But when you was there, did you see any criminal activity like out in the open in the daylight? Like crazy? Did you see that down in Guyana?
I see poverty, but I didn't see no criminal activity in Guyana. I didn't see no criminal activity. 7 days, I didn't see no criminal activity in Guyana. I was in a place called Albertown, in Georgetown, and I didn't see no. I even went to Demerara.
Yeah.
I don't know. I went and I didn't see no criminality. Just poverty, people begging on the street for money. That's about it.
It's rough, man. All right, so we're gonna move on. Anything else you want to say about this before we move on to our next topic?
Well, the maker's trying to do something as far as they're getting a big up to him. And trying to get so he can
Zaccheus,
work with that. I don't know what's going on.
Zaccheus, hold on. We're experiencing some technical difficulty. Hold on. Just hold on 1 second. All right. I'm gonna have you repeat. I'm gonna have to have you repeat what you just said, okay, about, you know, your last words concerning Jamaica and Trinidad. Go ahead.
No, Jamaica right now is getting activity. Yeah.
God. Zaccheus, hold on. Here we go again with this mess. Hold on. Ladies and gentlemen, I apologize for this. This is what happens when you try to do things, you know, across the nation. But it's all right. We're going to get this together. I'm in one place. Zaccheus is in another. So it's the only reason why the technical difficulties has happened. But we're going to start again. Zaccheus, go ahead.
Yeah. Right now, Jamaica is trying to promote Renato Adams to be a commissioner in Jamaica. Works because it's just to stop the gang violence and the criminal activity. Hopefully everything will cease. So I'm praying. I don't know. It's not going to happen overnight.
Right.
But it's going to take some work. Even with Trinidad, it's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take some time, you know?
Yeah.
No, they want tourists to come there. No, you know, Will Smith was there in Trinidad during Carnival.
Yeah. What I got to say I just want people to be safe out there, but I want you to take in consideration that where's this tourism money going to? If it's not going to the people, then there's no point of putting money into it. I just have this thing about how if it's not benefiting the people who live there, be mindful and conscious of that, because I feel like if things were allocated properly, financially and economically throughout the islands would be in better condition, because there are a lot of money that comes in through tourism. A lot. We know that because of the tourism that comes into America is ridiculous. So if that money is not being allocated throughout the land, then I just want people to be conscious of that and just understand. And it's okay to demand. Well, I don't know. I wouldn't say you can't really make a demand of another country, but it's okay to at least request that, hey, the money that I'm putting in to this part of town, or this level of tourism, is this money going to help the country? Because if it's not, it's helping the pockets of the greedy. And for those of the greed, it's time to get them the heck out of there. How about that?
Exactly.
Yo.
Exactly, because it doesn't make sense where the poverty. It doesn't make sense that have so much tourism coming to a country and the poverty rate is still low. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
That don't make no kind of sense. If all this money's coming in as tourism, and then all of a sudden now the people still begging on the street like it's dirt poor, and not like Haiti. And then you see the tourism is not that great in Haiti. Starting to, in Haiti, if the economy was better and the economy was building up, tourism would be booming, and the money needs to be pulled into Haiti. But
well, look at Dominican Republic, man. The way the resources are allocated in the Dominican Republic are way different from how the tourism is in Haiti, because you actually see the reflection of the money that comes into to DR throughout the land, as opposed to what's going on in Haiti. So there's some shady stuff going on, okay?
There's a lot of shady stuff going on. I'm gonna be honest with you, the Dominicans in Dominican Republic do not Haitians. They don't respect the Haitians. They don't. From what I've gathered, even when I went to Haiti, from what I gather and what I hear, and sure these times, the two other times of when I hear years ago, they don't embrace. They don't, and Dominicans are black themselves.
Mm-hmm.
They don't embrace them. Don't respect them. They don't embrace them. So, and I went to Dominican Republic and I went to Punta Cana. And I seen how tourism is booming in Punta Cana. Because it's one island. You think share the wealth with Haiti, but it's two different. Although they're in the same land, it's two different lands altogether. Dominicans do not like.
It's two different
Dominicans
countries.
do not like Haitians.
Right. It's two different one land, but two different countries.
Yes.
But what you're referring to is their regard towards Haiti. It's almost like they hate Haiti. That's what you're getting at, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Dominicans there, they want to embrace European way more than African image. They don't want to have nothing to do with the African image.
Well, historically, Dominican Republic had no problem with recolonialization in that land from the Spain. So no, that doesn't surprise me. And if I'm wrong, then tweet me at the Fifth General, people in the DR, because that's what I've learned. That's what I've come to learn is truth about that island, or that part of the island, is that y'all had no problem with them coming in and running things again. That's a problem. And I think that's why you have this level of discord between the two lands. And it's a shame, the racism between y'all. First off, y'all all brothers and sisters. If you go back into your history,
don't let the Dominicans hear you say that. They'll get so mad at you.
Don't let them. I don't care. I say this about people from Jamaica and Trinidad in America, in Africa. Okay, so at the end of the day, we're all part of this diaspora of the motherland somehow. Everybody need to get it together, not just Haitians and Dominicans, but everybody need to. You get what I'm saying? Just saying, if we're gonna go there, we're gonna go there. So look, let's move on. All right, so Black History Month. Let's talk about it. Now you wanted to pay homage to somebody specifically, right?
Yes, I'm gonna bring him up. This was the first male to win the Heisman the Heisman Trophy.
Mm-hmm. What's his name?
His name was Ernie Davis.
Okay.
Ernie Davis was the first black male trophy, and it was around the 1950s.
Okay.
The early 1950s. He got the Heisman. He was the first black male. If I get my numbers correct, he was the first black male to trophy. Ernie Davis, and he died young, but to recognize him, and people don't know about him, but this one to recognize him. Actually, there was I forgot the name of the movie. There was a movie about him too. Ernie Davis, if you can look him up, he was the first black male to win the Heisman Trophy.
Mm.
But I think Kevin Costner was in that movie. I forgot the name of that movie though. Yeah, I seen that. I said, let me just look this brother up. And I just want to recognize him as Black History. Recognize him in Black History.
Okay. Well,
since I only mentioned him because this week was the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
And for those who don't know the history,
right.
I mentioned Ernie Davis. The way we Robinson.
Zaccheus, you're gonna have to repeat that.
The Owens and just want to.
Ladies and gentlemen, sorry for the technical difficulties. Ladies and gentlemen. Zaccheus, I'm gonna have to have you repeat that whole thing again about it being people acknowledging this history on Super Bowl week. Go ahead.
On I recognize him in Black history because since we're in a mode of that we in enlightened of the Super Bowl, the Black history. I want to recognize him as a Ernie Davis as a Black history scholar and the Black history the Black history man that made history in Black history because he in 1961 won the Heisman Trophy in football. He was the first Black African American to win the Heisman Trophy in 1961. His name is Ernie Davis. Trying to remember, there was a movie that came out about he passed. He died young. He died of he had leukemia. I'm trying to remember. They had a movie that came out about him. I'm trying to remember the movie. This movie is I think it came out on Netflix too. This movie, but it's been so long ago. Been so long ago that that sometimes you forget that some of that oh yeah these kind of movies did came out, but trying to get the name of the movie right now. Got the name of it. But I want to recognize Ernie Davis and just recognize Ernie Davis. I can't remember Ernie Davis, so I just want to recognize Ernie Davis as the first African American to win the Heisman Trophy.
Yeah.
The movie is called The Express.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's called The Express. It came out a while ago. Right. Came out in 2008. That was right. It came out in 2008. Came out in it's called The Express. The movie is called The Express, and it was produced by John Davis. It's in 2008. Whoever's could check it out. I don't even think it's on Netflix anymore. Right. But Ernie Davis. It was the life story of Ernie Davis and Rob Brown. Black man played Ernie Davis in this movie. The movie came out since 2008. Recognize Ernie Davis as recognize him in Black this month's Black History for this week. Ernie Davis, yeah.
All right, now yeah. I want to talk about Black History Month as far as why it is a month for those who don't know. So G. Carter Woodson, because before it was a month, it was a week. So Black historian G. Carter Woodson is the basically with his association for the study of Negro life and history announced the second week of February to be Negro History Week. Now, we're talking about 1926 now, right? So the precursor to Black History Month was created in 1926. Now, as far as it being a month, that had later happened in 1976 was when Black History Month was officially acknowledged by the United States government. President Gerald Ford gave a very brief speech, quoted, but even more than this, we can seize the opportunity to honor the too often neglected accomplishments of Black Americans in every area of endeavor throughout our history. So here's me speaking right now. I don't need no month to acknowledge my people. You know what I'm saying? I'm Black every month. You know what I mean? Yeah. But, for those culturally throughout our calendar, there there's a history month or a history acknowledgement time for most cultures. I think a lot of people don't realize that. You know, you'll hear some people say, is there a Asian history month, a Asian this or Mexican history month? I mean, well, yeah. But I would say here's a difference between us and other cultures. Number one, we're talking about a nation of people that were brought from another nation to here. So the only country that black people know who were brought here is this country. And for all the things that we were forced to do, this country needs to acknowledge us. It needs to do more than just acknowledge us. If you are from another ethnic group or culture, you know that there's a such and such history year for you because you got your own country to go back to, as whereas we don't. Okay? So, I mean, I'm just making a point. You know, there's a Women's History Month. I mean, there are a lot of acknowledges. I mean, you know, black people could have their thing and others could have theirs too. It doesn't have to be, oh, well, they got this, so we need this. No, you do have it. You just don't know of it. It's not maybe polarized like it should. But understand that there's a land that, you know, other people have the benefits. If you're somebody who's from China and you're here in America and you're asking, is there a Chinese History Month? Hey, Chinese culture is celebrated all year round in China. What country in this nation where black history is acknowledged all year round? It ain't Africa, because that Africans, certain African countries are more so dedicated to the country they're in, not necessarily the people all around in every country of that continent. You get what I'm saying? So if you're in Zimbabwe, then it's Zimbabwe all year round. If you're in Uganda, it's Uganda all year round. But for black people who are brought here, descendants of slaves, there's nowhere where we can go where all year round our history is acknowledged. Right? So that's the difference between us and other people. You know? So, you know, I hate to take it there, but that's why that's where I got to go with that. That's what I got to go with that. But also, Black History Month should be used as a vehicle to celebrate black people all over the world too. You know, I don't just focus on here in the States, or the accomplishments of what black folks did here in the States, but also throughout the world. You know, this is a good time to dig into history of black people all over. Marcus Garvey, Nelson Mandela, Winnie Mandela, you know,
even
Desmond Tutu, and I'm trying to just name people who are not from here, but you know, that we can announce. Desmond Tutu, you know what I'm saying, and you know, a lot of things that we could do. You know what I mean? But definitely here, because for the most part, a lot of our heroes here, the black voice is definitely here. I can't really think of that much of a representative of the black voice in another country like we once had with Garvey. I mean, I'm gonna just ask you a question, Zaccheus.
Yes.
Is there another Marcus Garvey out there who's not in the nation? In this nation? Is it anybody that you can name today?
Well, there was a man years ago in Guyana named Burnham. And he was recognized in Guyana. He was like, I guess, one of the first black presidents in Guyana, and he's kind of opened some certain doors for Guyana to get his lead way. He was part of the 1966 independence of Guyana from Great Britain.
Mm-hmm.
March 1966 Independence Day in Guyana. That's as far as I know. But anybody to take Marcus Garvey place, Marcus Garvey. I could say a lot about Marcus Garvey.
Yeah.
I could say a lot about Burnham too, but I could say definitely a lot about Marcus Garvey. Marcus Garvey was a visionary.
Right.
He was because Garvey was a man that when he started the Black Star Liner, his boy was and take motto was.
Oh God, here we go again. Zaccheus, hold on a second. Okay. While I'm working through this technical difficulty, let me say something real quick, and I'm gonna have you come back in, Zaccheus. Just give me a second here. So, the point of my question is that when you look up Black history in America, the voice of Black people, you definitely see it here in this nation. There are plenty of people that we can name here in America who kept that, who fought through the beautiful struggle, is what they call it, and had that voice that for Black rights. I'm not even gonna say civil rights. I'll just say Black rights because, these are just things that that I've known to see, and then what I still see. But I don't want people thinking that our voice, the Black voice right now, is only that of an Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson. That's bullcrap. Hate hearing that.
Right.
So I was just trying to say that, we don't necessarily have anybody in another country who is speaking for Black folks everywhere. You don't have that like you once did with Garvey. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I was saying I wish we did have that, because we gotta have more Black voices throughout the world to unite with the Black voices here in America to bridge that gap. Because the bridge is not burned completely, but there's a bridge, but it's not connected. It's like a bridge to nowhere, sadly. And so we need that to be that we need to bridge the gap with Black people all over the world, with the voices there and the voices here. Because the one thing I recognize about Mandela before he passed away is that he called Black folks everywhere his brothers and sisters, not just Black folks in South Africa. That's the difference between a Mandela and maybe somebody else. Somebody else sitting at home on their couch in another country. They don't really look at us as they don't see us as the same people. If they see themselves as Black, they see themselves as a different type of Black. Remember, we had this conversation about the other week about Mia, when I mentioned Mia Love and how she only got offended when Donald Trump said something about Haitians, but didn't say anything when he was talking about Black people right here in this country.
Right.
Okay? And I'm tired of that mess. But anyway, things should be a little better with the audio. Zaccheus, go back to what you were saying about Garvey. Now we're going to get into our Super Bowl topic.
And Marcus Garvey. I was saying a lot about Marcus Garvey. I was mentioning those in the past, but I mentioned also Marcus Garvey was a visionary and a man of his before his time.
Right.
That his motto was Africa for the Africans.
Yeah.
But, J. Edgar Hoover messed that up. He sabotaged that by using our own people to turn against him to sabotage the Black Star Liner ship to voyage back to Africa. So Marcus Garvey never made it back. He never made it to Africa.
Nope. May I add that he also said that that he didn't believe that all Black people in America or throughout the islands and throughout South America, all the Americas where we were on plantations, that he didn't think that all of us should go back. He admitted himself that there are some who should stay and some who should go. So he did say Africa for Africans, but he also came to the point where he was like, hey, there are some that would do no good there. But for the ones that will, they should go back. And then the ones that are going to be here stay here, and then fight the good fight. But yeah, Zaccheus, go ahead.
Yeah, and it was just he was a man of his own, before his own time, and it was just sad to see how it was that they sabotaged the ship. He could even build up before to make that voyage back to Africa. Marcus Garvey is one of them, but I also recognize Jacques Dessalines for the revolution in Haiti. That was back in 1806, something like that. 1806, and Toussaint Louverture. But these are people that's outside of the Americas that change the way we look at the world. They changed. Like Haiti had its own first independence. Haiti gained independence centuries ago, 1806, when they fought against the French, and and allowed French not to own them. But look at Haiti. But we also look at Haiti today, and we see how we see it because of and gain its independence. The natural resources of Haiti was stolen and taken. Maybe by his own leaders too, because they had a This is another thing too. This is why sometimes so well kept, because they have some greedy people in this world. They have some greedy people. They got some greedy. It has some greedy leaders in Haiti. I'm trying to remember his name. Greedy leaders that they took resources, took money out of the Swiss account, and took resources that Haiti needed to build up, and this is the result.
Yeah.
Unite, and this is because I'm speaking because of you. If we can all, I'm learning this. Also learn how to unite and learn how to stop this division. That I'm this and I'm the. If we can all unite and just stand together, and maybe it'll be a difference in building up our countries like Jamaica, building up our countries like Trinidad, and building up our countries even here in this. It's building up unification here in America, because there's no unification. When there's no unification, when the people are divided, the people. It's sad to say that. Even when brother Dr. Boyce Watkins talks about circulating money in our own community, it's tough to even get us to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mentioned all this to say that we mentioned Black history and we big it up, but also we have to. But Dr. King and those Marcus and V and Gavers talk about unification and talk about fighting and building a better Americas.
Yeah.
Malcolm X. We mentioned many of those. W.E.B. Du Bois. I guess he, and Adolf Randolph. People in Black history that they tried to make changes and make a difference, but we recognize them today.
Hold on, say that last name again, because it cut out. Who? Randolph? Who?
A. Randolph.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, and so forth, and Thurgood Marshall, and mentioned throughout. We just mentioned Black history, man, and there's more to mention to some women.
Yeah.
That should be recognized in Black history.
Harriet Tubman, Fannie Lou Hamer.
Yes.
I think I'm saying the name right. Shirley Chisholm.
Racism, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's a lot of
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a lot of people. Angela Davis, Kathleen Cleaver. That's Eldridge Cleaver's wife. Well, ex-wife, but yeah. So we'll revisit this throughout the month. But what we got to do is get into, because we're approaching towards the end of the show, the Super Bowl. Now, if anybody's been paying attention to my social handles, I don't really tweet a lot or post a lot, but I talked about Super Bowl. I talked about how I wasn't watching it this year. It doesn't matter if it's Super Bowl Sunday or not. I've got on here during this show in the Round Circle and said that I was boycotting the NFL because of the mistreatment of Kaepernick and football players who take the same stance as Kaepernick. And, you know, I wanted to stick to that, and I did. Didn't hurt me none. So, you know, let's get into it. So I posted something on Twitter, and I want us to analyze this, okay? Posted something on Twitter, and I talked about how I was feeling. And what my post says, so when this, you know, at the Fifth General on Twitter, I said, so when the season started, you was with Cat. Now it's Super Bowl Sunday, and now you with Pat. Pat short for the Patriots. Now,
That's right, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm sitting there on my social media. This is not to call nobody's name out. It's not about that. But I'm just keeping it real. And I'm making an example of sticking to a cause. You know, this is why black people can't stick to a cause. They make excuses why they can't. And the one thing I said, the reason why I said that is because I'm looking at my timeline. And I'm seeing all these people who said that they wasn't going to watch football because of Kaepernick. But meanwhile, they watching football. So I have a question for all you who said you were going to boycott H&M because of the coolest monkey in the jungle shirt. Are you at H&M as you're listening to this podcast, whether you're at home or out and about mobily? You're probably in H&M right now pulling out your credit card.
Yep.
I'm just saying, if you can't stick to a cause for a football season for a couple months, you can't stick to a cause for a year or years. If you can't if you can't even do that, then don't talk to me about protesting anything, boycotting anything. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. So
This is
what's up?
you know, people. Oh yeah, we're gonna boycott, and then they don't hear about it no more. So they go back into the, oh, I'm gonna watch it now because nobody's talking about it no more. I'm gonna watch it now because nobody's really no more. It's faded out. So they don't really, but Kaepernick is still alive. Kaepernick is still collecting donations for different causes.
Yep.
Kaepernick is still active.
Yep.
You may not hear about him on the news.
This man has been doing things for the community. His level of activism has actually gotten better since the boycott. You know, Time Magazine recognized him. GQ recognized him as Man of the Year. I mean, he got an award from, I think, the ACLU. You know, I mean, this man has been doing his thing. The 10 for 10 million, the 10 for 10 million foundation, where you pledge 10,000 and it has to equal 10 million, and this money is going towards organizations and communities, and also towards organizations fighting against injustice. So children's communities, communities that actually help, organizations that actually help communities, whether it be in the cities and stuff like that. I mean, this man, you know, I love what this man is doing. To me, he's the next Ali.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? As far as his activism, as far as him being a sports guy, I mean, how many people do you know are going to put their job, their career on the line in their prime? It ain't like he old. He can still get out there in the field and do work. I mean, this doesn't happen every day. It doesn't. Okay?
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't. I respect him more than most people right now. You know, I wish I could meet him in person and just kind of get into his mind and see where he's at. And this is somebody who wasn't even raised by black parents, because his original parents deaded him, sadly. And the man ain't even and then the man is half black. I mean, he's more the man. Is biracial, but he more black than black people. Hello,
That's something.
this man out here got an Egyptian girlfriend, Arab Egyptian at that, and she has been supporting the cause of people of color and black people with Kaepernick. And here, y'all black folks out there, about as black as a purse. Your wife is black as a purse, and you can't even support black people. You don't even want to be black. And here we got a man who's half black, and his girlfriend who looks like she's that of an Arab. I'm not saying this to be funny. Although I apologize for the black as a purse thing. That's not right. I was just trying to make a point. Sorry. I love blacks. Look, I'm black as a purse. Okay, I love my skin. I love it. That was a bit off-putting. Sorry, but I'm just trying to make a point that this man, who is half black, is doing more for black people than black people who are full black. That's the point I'm making.
Right.
I mean, this man is a proud black man.
Right.
You know, I'm noticing a trend here that I see. I'm starting to see certain light-skinned brothers and brothers who are mixed caring more about black people than black people who are my complexion.
Yes.
That's what's going on. You know, it's like this. Malcolm X, by the way, he was mixed. Angela Rye, as light-skinned as she is, you know she got to have some white in her. She's for black folks.
Yes.
Jesse Williams, evidently mixed, because you saw his mother and his father at the BET Awards when he got up there, accepted that humanitarian award 2 years ago. That's a black man. Just so happens to be dating Minka Kelly, but that's besides the point. But the point I'm making is that I applaud this man. Now, his stance with the NFL, I mentioned this to say this because you have people who said that they were standing with him. I mean, personally, standing with him, and they're not even, oh, God. I just so happen to be recording and a car alarm goes off right next to me. Okay, it's done. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I'm recording this in my house. But anyway, so
like you said,
yeah, like I'm now Zaccheus. I'm sorry, I want to give you some time to talk about this. A lot of time. What do you say about those people who stood with Kaepernick? I mean, even took pictures with him and said that they was going to boycott the NFL this season, and then all of a sudden you see them with courtside tickets, well, not courtside because but field side front row tickets out there in Minnesota at this game. And then I'm gonna go in on Justin Timberlake in a second. Go ahead, Zaccheus.
It's like this. Some people, it's a phase with them. It's a fad. Everything is for some people. Everything is a fad. If something is going on that's hot right now, and if it's not hot right now, they just go back into whatever they would. They just go back to team that they were doing. They don't. Some people don't stand for anything. Some people they'll stand with you in the beginning. Oh, I'm strong. Yeah, come on, we stand with you. We ain't watching no NFL. Give them 2 weeks. And then give them 2 weeks. They're back doing the same old routine like it never happened.
Mm-hmm.
It's like this. It's like Rosa Parks in the back. They didn't want to give up her seat.
Mm-hmm.
She's in the back of the bus. She's tired.
Right.
Now, there's some black folk. They'll still go back and sit in the back of the bus. Like she never stood up for nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing. No different from Kaepernick.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm still. Oh yeah, he did it over that for that 1 week. Oh, that was hot. That was big. You know what? They don't hear nothing about it, so they go back to doing. They go back to doing whatever they were doing. A lot of us don't. You know, it's sad because a lot of us, when Kaepernick was doing this, they had some. I'm gonna say it, man, Jay. They had some coons that didn't want to stand with him. They were saying he was a fool to give up all that money. Told me that he's a fool. Some just like that look just like me. That said that he's a fool to give up all that money.
The man is a hero.
They had some coons that said he's a fool to give up. Where he's gonna get his next check? They said, well, he gave up his NFL career. He was a fool to do that. He's not gonna. Where is he gonna get his next check? Where he's gonna feed his family? What he's gonna do for money? He shouldn't have done that. He gave it up. He should have been like the other NFL players. He didn't respect the flag. He should have stood up and salute the flag.
Yeah.
I have a lot of coons that said that. And I heard them. They said that. That's why things are the way they are, because we don't stand united. I'm like, man, coons are very dangerous, man.
Yeah, they are. They are
dangerous to us. They're not
can't be trusted.
People at all.
Coons are dangerous because they look like us. That's what makes them more dangerous, because they look exactly like us. So it's easy for them to infiltrate and to assimilate, but in the means of trickery, because they still propel the empire of white supremacy. That's why coons are very dangerous. They're able to be the best agents of all time in this struggle because they look like us.
Yes.
So I want to touch on right.
Around, they degrade our people. Mm-hmm. They degrade our women. They degrade our women, saying that they're no good. They're ratchet.
Yep.
I'm not gonna call a name, but this brother's just. He's on social media. He has his own show. That they're ratchet, that they're no good.
Yeah.
All black women are this. All black women, if you know what I'm talking about. All black women are that. Mm-hmm. All black women are no good. All black women are this. All black women are that. All black women need to get real hair. All black women
But meanwhile, for these brothers and sisters who talk this junk about other black folks, where are their white women and white men that they love so much? I mean, I'm just saying, if you're a black man and you hate sisters, but you want a white woman so bad, where's your white woman at? Okay? And if you're a sister and you want to swirl so bad and mammy and bedwench for a white man, where's your white man at? The soul thing that you hate and desire, that desire part, you're not fulfilling yet. So I want to ask your opinion, my brother. Now, Jay-Z denied an offer to perform at the Super Bowl halftime because of his support for Colin Kaepernick. Justin Timberlake didn't. Let's let that sink in. So the very guy who branched out of NSYNC, so-called adopted a black sound to his music, got with some black producers, got with some black folks, and made some great music, by the way, I'll say. And then I'm going to actually cut him deep after I mention this. Has made a career off of his solo career, off of getting with, Timberland, Pharrell, and all these other people. Jay-Z said no because he stood for the cause. Justin Timberlake, by taking this, does not stand for the cause. So for all you, I said it, and I don't care if he says otherwise. Justin Timberlake, I'm gonna have to put you in the same circle as Miley Cyrus and Justin Bieber. You are a culture vulture.
Gotta call it like it is, kid,
okay?
Brother.
You are a culture vulture because it would have meant more powerful for you. It would have been more of an impact if you would have said, you know what, I'm not going to do it either. You know, and you know, this is very telling because this is a guy who performed with Janet Jackson. Oh, yeah, this is coming. And they came together, and you know, when she performed years ago, and exposed her right breast or the left breast, I don't know what breast it was, but it was a breast. And they both was held accountable for it, although she was held more accountable for it because it was her breast, even though it was his hand. And she went through all the apologizing and all she had to do. I'm sorry. You know, the woman had to say she was sorry more than that man did. She's not allowed to perform at a Super Bowl no more, but he is.
Hey,
let that
performing
sink
the
in.
Super Bowl.
Let that sink in. Okay? And you got black people out there talking about, you know, I can't wait to see him when he comes on tour, and when he comes to my city, I can't wait to see him. And you're loving him just like you were loving Miley Cyrus and just like you was loving Justin Bieber, but they are not for the cause. I'm sorry, but if you ain't for the cause, get the heck away from me. I don't care what you look like. If you are black and you ain't from the cause, get away from me.
Right.
And if you ask me, Justin Timberlake, just based off the fact that he didn't say no, and then Jay-Z said no, Justin Timberlake is a potential enemy to the cause.
Yeah.
Zaccheus, what is your side on all of this?
I've heard of the halftime show now, and I said, okay. And I said the same to myself, too. I said, wait a minute. Didn't a few years ago that Justin Timberlake and Janet Jackson was performing? They was performing, and some outfit dysfunction went on, and her breast was exposed. And all of us, and I don't think she's gonna get invited to another Super Bowl ever again. That's my. I was just okay. I said, okay, yeah, Janet Jackson's done with Super Bowl.
Well, she's the
Justin Timberlake comes. This is a second time coming back, and I'm saying to myself, wait a minute, double standard.
Yes.
And I'm gonna say it again, and I'm gonna continue to say it. Different strokes
for different folks.
Came back in 2018 and performed on the Super Bowl. And I respect Jay and I love Jay-Z for this. He stood his ground and he said no for the cause of what Kaepernick's for. To this day, people believe that Kaepernick disrespected the flag. They believe till this day that he disrespected. They don't understand. Or they don't want to understand, or they're pretending that they don't understand that for black male and female with police brutality getting slaughtered daily by the hands of the police and with police brutality and not getting no justice for it. Till this day, believe that Kaepernick. I'm not talking about just white supremacy folks.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about just the supremacy folks.
Mm-hmm.
Folks, some of our coons too. Oh, that he disrespected the.
I don't want to cut you off, but would you agree that Jay-Z was kind of in a position where he had to turn down the Super Bowl performance because of that album he put out? And a song polarizing like Story of OJ. If Jay would have did the halftime performance and after doing a song like Story of OJ, we probably would have looked at him side-eye. So I feel like Jay-Z didn't have a choice but to say no. But I'm glad he said no. They offered him a lot of money to perform. He turned down a lot of money, and a lot of people called him a fool and said, well, he should have just accepted it so he could perform Story of OJ there. No, because once again, they just make money off of you. See,
Yeah, but you see, the thing is, him.
it meant a lot for him to say no, though. I'm not taking it away from him, but what I'm saying is he put himself in a position where he had to say no.
He turned out all that money, but you know what it is? It's called taking a stand.
Thank you, and that's the point we're making.
If you don't stand for something, it's called. Many of our folks over centuries and decades, and they take a stand. It's called. I look at it as taking. He has a lot of money that he turned down, but you know what? It's good on the history as a man that took a stand and is a hero.
Mm-hmm.
And this album he put out was an album to awaken some of our young brothers and sisters out there.
Yeah. Yeah.
The reason why he put it out. And there's a reason why he didn't go to the Super Bowl. It's a reason why he didn't go to the Super Bowl and perform, because he was taking a stand.
Yeah. He took a stand just by doing that song. There isn't another Jay-Z song that is on the content of story of OJ. I can't think of one. When I go through Jay-Z's catalog, he does not have another song like this. Ever. That's why the story of OJ surprised the heck out of me. I remember when I first heard it, I said, wait a minute. This is the same Jay-Z?
Yeah.
There is no other Jay-Z record that's like that. Will there be another one again? I don't know. But it goes to show you that one record changes the conversation on how we feel about Jay-Z as an artist and as a black man. Come on now.
No, I was not surprised that Kaepernick when they performed it last night. I was really not surprised. You know, at all. No, I mean you fit the perfect term called culture vulture. I'm not surprised.
Yeah. Man, it's a culture vulture. I ain't never bought a Justin Timberlake album or I ain't never did that. And I'm not gonna start. I'm sorry, but some things are more than music to me. Some things are more than music to me. They are. More than sports, more than music, more than this, more than life. Okay? Some life is, black life, the black life is more important to me than some sports event. You know what I'm saying? It's just more important to me. I'm not having it. It's funny. It's funny because some people say, well, Fifth, I maybe I'd have to call you a hypocrite because I bet you if you was offered certain amount of money to do such and such and such, hey, I haven't been in that position. I haven't been in that position, but I've lost a job because I didn't let nobody. I mean, I took a stance at a job that I had a long time ago, and ended up getting fired because I didn't take no crap. So I've took stances before that cost me money, small money nonetheless. So ain't like I never took a stance in my life that had money involved. A lot of people do that. Hey, if you was doing this and you would no, I've lost money before. Yes. So no, this is nothing new to me. Nothing new to me. And let me tell you something right now. In this world of white supremacy, the whole thing is you can't avoid it completely, but it's to deal with it as minimal as possible. So if you could deal with it as minimal as possible and not compromising the things that are very near dear to you, then I applaud you for that. But if your whole thing is, well, if we can't beat them, join them, no, that's the mindset of a coon. That's the mindset of a coon. There's a big difference between survival and cooning. Survival is, hey, there's no these black when I go to a grocery store, there's toilet paper brands, and in this store, none of them are black owned, but I still gotta wipe my butt. That's survival. You know what I'm saying? Cooning is, hey, well, they're gonna pay me to dress up in blackface, and they're gonna pay me more than the black man who's gonna offer me a part in his movie being a doctor. So I'm not, so for the money, I'm just gonna dress up in blackface. That's cooning.
Exactly.
There's a difference between cooning and survival. I know we live in white supremacy as a global system. I get it. But like I said, the goal is to deal with it as minimal as possible. Minimal as possible, meaning you try to avoid it at most costs. Deliberately giving up and saying, that's another thing. That's two different things. Because coons do believe if you can't beat them, join them. Omarosa, that mammy. Mammy. I mean, the cotton that she picked for that man, Donald Trump, President 45, Mango Magnus, Cheese Doodle Man. I mean, and then look what happened. She got kicked out. All that, oh Lord, didn't save her.
Oh Lord, this thing been cotton. No.
Oh Lord, that didn't save her. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. Look, I don't want to get off track, but I was trying to make a point about Justin Timberlake. And I know there's probably people who listen to this show who are probably upset that I talked about their white knight in shining armor. But I'm sorry. That's some culture vulture stuff, man.
Yeah.
And I'm only calling him that based off of how he's gained his fans through his solo career and the type of music that he's done and the team that he has got with. That's why I call him a culture vulture. Now, if Justin Timberlake would have been doing if he would have been doing country music, I wouldn't have called him a culture vulture. As a matter of fact, I expect a country artist to perform at a Super Bowl. That's probably what they should have did. They should have had Dolly Parton up there. That would have made a lot of sense.
That would have made a lot of sense. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They should have had what's that dude name? He did that song with LL Cool J. Oh God, what's his I'm forgetting his name. But it would have made sense if they would have had like a hard rock group or it would have made a lot of sense. It would have been I wouldn't have called them culture vultures because they're not trying to they're not a vulture of black culture. Although rock and roll was created by black people, anyway, and then country music was too. But that's another story. The point I'm making is, it's Justin who accepted it. Timberlake, that is, because there's two Justins. There's Justin Bieber. That, for those who know me by now, I don't like a Justin Bieber for nothing. I don't. Okay. Justin Timberlake, I was a little different about him to a certain degree. But the fact that he accepted this, he a culture vulture, man. He a culture vulture. Culture vulture. Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna get into what to people I'm gonna just recognize.
Yeah, we're gonna have to close the show.
Yeah,
we're gonna have to close the show soon. My bad, but yeah, get into what you got to say, Zaccheus. Sorry about that.
I'm gonna get into Snoop Dogg, who been he started the football league with inner city kids a long time ago. But I want to recognize him, man, because he's really doing something to tribute to the community, and he's doing something to. He's called the L.A. He's called the L.A. Snoop Steelers. There's a football league, kids football league, and I can see that there's a lot of. If you go on Netflix, he has a special, and it's called I forgot the name of it. The name of the special is called Snoop League Football League. It's called the Snoop League Football League, and he really help his community by helping inner city youths in encouraging them to stay off the streets and get them out of gangs and keeping them focused and keeping them and trying to get them to a successful position in life. Also, I also want to big up Shaggy too, because Shaggy, although Shaggy, I'm talking about Shaggy the dancehall reggae artist who contributed. He donated $1 million American dollars to this hospital in Jamaica, and he's concerts which called Shaggy and Friends to help push money towards helping Jamaica with hospitals, helping Jamaica with building up hospitals and equipment and machinery that people need in hospitals in Jamaica. So that is what black people, they're also like Kaepernick, doing to contribute to our community. Okunin, this is all straight community out and building a circular community that can help others out. So I just want to recognize those guys and big them up, you know.
Yeah.
Hey, you know, because I mean, but when you don't, but see, you're not helping when you put down our sisters, brothers and sisters, and you're a brother yourself, and you're not, and you're a sister yourself, and you're not really, you're not being an asset to your community. But no, the only thing you can sit there and you can badmouth people and badmouth what others are doing, and that's not helping the community.
No.
Sometimes you'll say that, I'm not in a position to have money, but you can do little steps. Little steps. I mean, like, okay, you know what? I don't have $10,000 to give to Kaepernick, but I can at least not watch because he took a stand and he didn't do that, and he I can at least not, was an H&M store. I can at least not go shop there because they just disrespected my people, man, and I don't like what they did. Yes. So I can at least not go put my money in H&M store.
Yes.
An example of not as being a contributor. As you don't have to have a lot of money, but little steps like that you can take and say that, okay, you know what? I'm not gonna take this disrespect. I'm gonna help support my people. I'm not gonna my money doesn't contribute to my community or myself.
Yeah. No? Definitely. What I'm gonna say is gonna be very brief because I think I done said enough before this started. Before I got to my final thought. But I just want to say, pay attention to those who come in as allies, but they are really enemies to the cause. Make money off of the people, but give nothing back to them, and then make excuses to why they're going to be on, make excuses for white supremacy. Careful of those. So, find it interesting. You have what we have today, people who fell out of standing for the cause with the Super Bowl. Justin Timberlake is a culture vulture. And meanwhile, when Philly celebrates their first championship, NFL championship for the Eagles, there have been footage of people rioting in the streets, tearing apart vandalism, tearing apart public property, and they just so happen to be the people of a complexion that is the opposite of black, melanin deficient, and pigmently challenged people. And they call that a celebration. But when black folks in Baltimore were protesting their anger about what happened to Freddie Gray, they called them savages and called it a riot. But hey, double standard munch. And this is all on the first week of February. But hey, happy Black History Month, everybody. Zaccheus, where can they reach you?
Reach me at. You can hit me up on Facebook, Wayne Zaccheus Bacchus on Facebook. You can hit me up on Instagram. You can also like Wayne Bacchus, but also you can get me on Zaccheus B73. That's on Instagram. Also, you can reach me on Twitter, Wayne Bacchus 2 on Twitter.
All right. And you can reach me at the Fifth General, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Let me clear up that last comment. That comment, I'm pointing out the media's racism. You know, when white people riot, they don't call it a riot. But when black people do, they call it one. I'm just saying, if you're going to call it down the middle, call it down the middle for everybody.
That's right.
I'm just pointing out the media bias. And my problem is with white supremacy, not white people. Just want to say that again. And I have to say that this being the last episode of this season of Mrs. Z and Fifth, I want to thank everybody for listening to this show. Everybody.
Thank you so much.
This was our return to broadcasting like we once did back with Life's on Radio back in 2008 to 2009. I hate that we've had that much time to not do any radio after all this time, but hey, you know, this is how we gonna be, and we have a bright future for both of us. And
yes.
the round circle will now continue. About a week from now. Hold on, let me get my calendar out. February 23rd will be episode 11 of the Round Circle. That returns, okay?
Yeah.
And our brother Cinema Escapes will join us on that show because that's the show that all three of us have together. But this is the season finale. Okay, this will be up, Friday. Even though we're recording this on a Monday, but it'll be up Friday.
Yes.
So, and we're gonna take a week off before we start getting back on the mic again. So, Mrs. Ian Fifth will be back in a couple of months. We will make the announcement once the round circle is done with that, and then we'll be back and catch us on the round circle. Topics are a little different, but somewhat similar. You know, from time to time, if anything, we got to talk about that relates to Mrs. Ian Fifth. We'll do that on the Round Circle. But the Round Circle is a separate podcast. Separate, but almost same audience, but more so separate for the most part. All right. Zaccheus, anything you want to say to the people out there as far as, you know, with the show and your appreciation and how the journey has been so far with the Mrs. Ian Fifth podcast?
Those who've been listening, the support that we've been getting, and especially on Audio Mac, on YouTube. Yeah. Thank you for listening and tuning into our show. We're looking forward to doing the Round Circle with our brother Cinema Escapes.
Yep.
I'm just happy to me and Fifth are just happy to just give you a good show, a good talk show, and good insight to what's going on around our globe. Thank you for informing you on things that you didn't know. So we appreciate it. We thank you. And we'll be back on with the Round Circle. You know, we'll be back on with the Round Circle. Tune into the Round Circle coming soon. Yep, mid-February. So thank you and happy Black History Month that's right.
Exactly. All right, so signing off, Mr. Z.
And
Fifth. See y'all next time.
Yeah.
Peace.
Peace.